the skins market is melting down. It's only a bit squishy around the edges at the moment, but the meltdown is starting, and I want to get ahead of it. Now, you might notice I don't sound particularly alarmed, but I do want to get the jump on the inevitable threads that will start popping up at some point asking whether the market is dying. One way or another during the worst part of the year for skins, this stuff always happens, and while it is a bit of a meme, it can also lead to people panic selling at the bottom of the market, like Luna did. And no one should be like Luna. And in this video, I want to explain why the skins market generally has a horrible time during the middle of the year, and how you can survive and thrive in the annual skins recession. Now, this video is sponsored by SkinsMonkey. SkinsMonkey is a site where you can quickly and easily trade your CSGO skins. All you have to do is log in through Steam and add your trade link, and you'll instantly be able to use the site. Just select the skins you want and hit trade, and you'll instantly get a trade offer with the skins you're after, and anything extra will be added to your balance on the site. And if a skin you want is not tradable, you can reserve it until it is. Use the code Heyzeus to get up to $5 free on your first trade, and you can also get 35% rather than 30% by using the code if you top up. And this one works unlimited times on unlimited amounts. It's a great site, recommend checking it out. Link is in the description. So recently I've been hearing people talk about this thing called the summer hype when it comes to skins. It's been popping up a lot, and people have been treating it like an established fact, talking about how it's always the strongest time of the year for prices. And this is a bit unfortunate, because the concept is wrong. Now, I think the reason this idea has developed has a lot to do with the past 3 years. Firstly, in 2019 and 2020, there was a massive bull run on the market, but that didn't have anything specifically to do with summer. It was due to the game rapidly growing in China, and also a lot of money being consistently pumped into it over a long period of time, although it did completely obscure any underlying trend in the process. And secondly, there was also a massive price rise at the end of autumn last year, which crashed during the first month of summer. But again, summer hype didn't really have anything to do with it. This was a massive artificial bubble stemming from the Chinese market that inevitably died a fiery death. And if we look back further than that, before Buff 163 turned the market upside down, summer was never the best time for skins, and a lot of it was simply to do with the fundamental nature of skins. And what do I mean by that? Well, let's compare a CSGO skin with a stock. Stocks are valued based on their expected future earnings. Their price is based on how much money the company is going to make in the future, and if you can estimate how much money it'll make in the future, you can estimate how much it's worth. But CSGO skins, aside from a few limited exceptions, do not generate revenue, so you can't fucking value them properly. So the price instead literally becomes whatever someone will pay for it right now. And guess what? Despite all the memes people make about gamers, most of them are actually normal people with lives. And when summer comes in the Northern Hemisphere, they're typically out there touching grass. And as a result, they're not buying as many skins, so the price of skins falls. This is an incredibly simple concept, but it's something that's affected the market pretty much every year since 2015. Obviously, it's still only one of many factors that can affect the market, and if the game's growing rapidly and there's a big boom in interest in skins like there was in 2019 and 2020, you may not even see it. But when that's not happening, summer and autumn are generally the weakest parts of the year for the market. Prices generally start falling from their peaks around the start of summer, and this is why I don't like this concept of a summer hype, because there's not much precedent for it, and generally, we tend to see the opposite happening. Now, of course, yes, summer generally does start off with a yearly downturn, and that downturn does look like it's kicking off at the moment when you look at the prices of a lot of skins on sites like Buff. But there is an important flip side to all of this. For the same reason people don't play the game as much during summer and don't spend as much on skins, the opposite is true for winter. People play the game more and prices go up. In fact, not only do they go up, often they set new all-time highs every year, depending on the item anyway. And this is a pretty important detail to keep in mind when you notice that the price of your inventory is falling. I mean, let's say you have a knife that's worth $200 at the moment, and in 3 months' time you check the price and you find that knife is suddenly worth only $160. And then you go to Twitter and find some noble individual is telling you that skins are f***ed. Should you panic sell your knife? Well, no, obviously not, because in 6 months' time, it's going to be worth $200 again. The worst thing you could possibly do is panic sell it, because you're just locking in a loss. Unless you desperately need the money in real life for something, the best thing to do is hold on to your skins. Obviously, if you buy something at peak prices then watch it crash back down, it sucks. But giving into emotion is only going to make it worse, and while every year you will get slightly different trends and different things going on, this is still a broad cycle that underpins the market, and if you know about it, you're in a much better position to make better decisions with your skins. Now, if you're a sharp-eyed viewer, at this point there is probably something that's occurred to you. If you know that prices are going to fall over the next 6 months, couldn't you sell your skins now, buy back in at the bottom of the market and make a whole bunch of easy profit that way? Well, potentially, but it's not as easy as it sounds. For example, if you tried this with your $200 knife on the Steam market, you would make a whopping $13 profit after taxes. And remember, it's probably going to take you 6 months or more to see that profit. Now, obviously that's a very simplified and idealized example. Doing this stuff for real is different, but what that means is it's actually much more complicated and difficult. Selling your stuff, depending on what it is, can be challenging, and even if the market trends downwards, you're likely to see a lot of mini ups and downs, and buying at the right price can take a lot of patience. It's not necessarily easy to do right. And like as an example, just look at these Vauxhalls I have. If I sold them now and tried to buy them back in a few months' time, I probably would make a profit, but selling them is difficult. I'd have to discount them and take quite a big loss there and then there'd be a lot of waiting and monitoring the market involved, and I just don't want to bother with the time and the risk. I'm just going to wait. I don't think it's worth the trouble, and the point is, you need to know what you're doing, and it's not risk-free. That said though, there are some ways you can make things easier. First of all, if you want to cut the selling part out of the equation and just buy in when prices are low, that makes your job a lot simpler and the whole thing a lot harder to f up. If you do though, make sure you don't directly deposit onto the Steam market, either buy buff balance off someone or buy off a third-party site. Secondly, there's something I specifically haven't addressed yet, and that is the Steam Summer Sale and the Operation. Both these things are yearly occurrences at the moment, and both of them cause massive market crashes. In the case of the Steam Summer Sale, these will always happen around the end of June and early July, and because they're so predictable, the price of a lot of skins starts falling in the lead up to the sale, which in some respects is a phase we're already entering. However, this trend is largely limited to cheap skins and focused mostly on the Steam market, but there's still a lot of opportunities. Popular investments like cases are particularly exposed to this kind of stuff, as are a lot of cheaper but highly liquid play skins, and the market will always bounce back afterwards. Not typically to previous highs, but it will bounce back. Let's just take a look at 2017 for example. This, by the way, is the one example in history where I think there actually was a legitimate summer high, probably because the player base managed to flatline rather than fall for most of the summer, and prices did manage to reach all-time highs here for some skins, just anyway, which wasn't much use if you bought before the sale. The gains are pretty minor, they're probably completely eliminated by Steam tax, but if you bought during it, you were probably feeling pretty good about yourself, as long as you sold in August anyway, because prices fell back down after that. Now, the operation is a bit more unpredictable because we don't know exactly when it is going to drop. It could be anywhere from September to December. There will be warnings when it's coming through though. Coders will start posting about it on Twitter. Stuff gets leaked by skin creators. Onapixel does 5 streams in a row claiming he's waiting for the operation to drop. Stuff like that. So you will have a bit of time to react. And the drops it tends to cause are much more brutal. It's still centered mostly on the Steam market, but it has much bigger reverberations across the rest of the market too, as people buy the Operation Pass and start enthusiastically buying stars to get new skins and stuff like that, and because a lot of people switch to using the new skins, it generally takes a lot longer for the market to recover. In fact, I was looking at the prices of some cases when I was researching this video, and it took some of them 5 months to reach their old prices. But of course, who cares about the recovery? So what? You can afford to wait for that. What matters is the dip, and this is definitely one of the best ones to buy by a mile. And again, if you are ready when the operation drops, you can really profit from this. Now, one final thing before I go. if you decide to invest in something, whether it's cases or operation skins or stickers or whatever, you need to do your own research on that particular item and figure out for yourself if it's a good option and whether you're buying it at a good price. I can talk about broader concepts here that can help with those decisions, but when it comes to your own investments, you still need to do your own research, and no YouTube video or online guide can ever fully replace the need for that. And otherwise, please just don't panic sell if the market falls down a bit. Again, don't be like Luna. Trust the numbers, not your guts. I'm Heyzeus. Thanks for watching. See ya.